All right, and we're good to go. We're good to go. Well, I'm your co-host, Right Way Jay, it's your Carolina cousin. You feel what I'm saying? Here with my host here, Kola Williams, a phenomenal person. I mean, entrepreneur, music manager. I mean, artistry is amazing. Poetry is amazing. I mean, she has an amazing story, and I'm telling you that people are really going to enjoy what she has to say. People are going to really enjoy what her story. She has a phenomenal story that many people are going to be very familiar with. So I hope you all enjoy it. Cole, if you're ready, if you want to go ahead and unmute your mic for me. Cole, if you're ready, you can go ahead and unmute your mic for me.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hey. Now, how you doing? How you doing there, Cole? How you doing?
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah. Well, it's just us right now. We're waiting on some more people to come in. So right now it's just you and I at the moment, but I'm sure more people will come in as we continue the conversation.
If not, we record it and they can hear it later.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. You know what I mean? Because I definitely want to get into some great questions that I have for you that I hope you're ready for. Yes.
Of course, I'm already ready to answer questions from you.
Yes,
I
indeed.
hope they're ready for me.
Yes. Well, I mean, just real quick, just to give like the audience just a brief overview on who is Kola Williams.
Well, Kola Williams is. I am a business owner. I own Kafari Management. I just started a music label called KMG, which is Kafari Music Group. I am an entrepreneur. I am a philanthropist. You name it, I probably do it or done it. I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm just one of a kind.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I know that for certain. We've had some great conversations, and I've learned a great deal about you and people when I tell you that her story is just out of this world. I mean, just the stories are out of this world. Just on a daily basis, she would tell me all the time that she needs a camera to follow her because her life is just insane. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But
Very true, you guys. Very true.
you understand what I'm saying? Like, listen, make sure y'all following her. Cola, what's your followers like as far as like Instagram, Facebook, and everything like that? You want to get that to the people?
So I do at Jadon JAUDON 85, and then for my management, it's just at KAFARI Management.
All right. Now, with that being
And
said,
then clearly y'all see my Twitter because we're on Twitter now.
yeah. No, I will leave that alone because it's an inside joke, but I will leave it alone. Oh my goodness. But Cola, I wanted to go ahead and get started with your from the beginning. Because I really want people to know who you are. So if you can take me back to like your earliest memories of childhood, like what was it like for you growing up as a child?
Yo, so my childhood was bananas, right? So I went through a lot. I grew up in foster care. I grew up in detention centers and group homes. It was hectic at times. I will admit that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my earlier years was shaped out of place. What
Right.
most people would say,
Mm-hmm.
just meaning that like I didn't really have involved parents like I should have. I used outside gang violence and a couple other things to fulfill the void.
Right.
And that, as we all know, that got me in trouble more times than not.
Mm. Now, like, what was like you like? What were you getting in trouble for, like during that time in your childhood?
Oh, that's no hand down fighting. Like, fighting.
So, like,
Fighting was pretty much 99% not of my charges. I don't think I really did too much of anything else.
okay, so
When it came to other things, I was very smart when it came to that kind of stuff. But fighting was just girls in their mouths, man.
girls in their mouths. So you would say that at that time, girls were mean to you. Yes.
Yes, I was. probably the new kid in school. We moved around a lot due to my mom's job and just, her getting married in our location. It was different things, but we were never in one spot for very long. So it was always,
it would be difficult to make friends.
New location. I don't even know what all I can say about that other than it was hectic. It's like being in the army without actually being in the army.
Yeah, and
I guess that's the best way I can really describe it to everyone. Is really being in a military brat without really being a military brat.
Yeah, with the constant moving, exactly, and it would be difficult for you to make friends with the constant moving. So I'm sure that actually played a part in your development as well.
It did. Moving around a lot and doing the different things when it came to the moves made it very hard to solidify permanent spotting. Basically, we were not allowed to make friends because what was the point?
Right. So that would develop a certain hardness to in a way. Would you say that?
No, selling drugs did that.
Okay, well, I can definitely understand, living in, the street life, that can definitely bring a toughness unimaginable.
Yeah, no, that did that. What I would say, growing up without parents sometimes can be a blessing in disguise. It can also be a blessing and a curse because I got to know what it was like to be completely independent. But I also was able to just be on my own. I learned how to be my own friend. I learned how to have conversations with myself. I've learned how to just do different things, man. I think when you grow up in a big family, sometimes that can hinder you. Because you have people that you can depend on.
Wait, hold on, wait. Now, being in a big family can hinder you. Now, help me out with that part.
Okay, so when you always have a village to lean on, you forget to lean on yourself. So when you grow up in a big family, sometimes you have a whole village, right? You have all these people that you are leaning on that you can depend on. Let's just say you need to help move tomorrow. If you come from a big family, guess what? You have maybe 1,000 helpers.
Okay.
As opposed to someone that doesn't come from a family, period, I wouldn't have anyone to call. I would have to pay movers, which I've done a couple of times.
Right, understandable. But I would think to respond to that, with having that family, that would save money with the movers. I mean, we can at least save that part, right?
Hell nah. Have you met your family? A lot of them motherfuckers got their hands on just about anything in your house. And then when you allow them in, it's harder to tell them no about stuff. Because then they first thing is, well, I helped you move and I seen it. You can't say you broke no more. I seen it.
Yeah, I mean, because we're still talking about people at the end of the day. So, I mean, it's all about.
Have you met people though? Literally, have you met people?
Yes.
People aren't friendly these days. This is not the 1950s where everybody was your friend. This is more of the savage area where you cannot trust people.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, because I see exactly what you're saying. But what I'm saying more or less is that even though there are foul people, there are still good people amongst the foul.
Hell no. Listen, I've yet to see a family where everybody in the family is 100% legit. Most families that you meet, you might be legit, your wife might be legit, everybody else in your family gonna be 99% an asshole. You got families that are backstabbing each other. You got family members that are sleeping with each other's spouses. You got family members nowadays that's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I done seen families that are in larger groups and larger concepts of families. I have seen them do each other the dirtiest. And I've seen people like me that don't have no family, that make our own family, and we turn our friends into family, or we marry into a big family, or whatever we do.
Right.
But we're the sweetest, most kindest people. We will give you shirts off our back. But then you go ask people that's in big families, they don't know how to share.
No, because I mean, because we're saying the same thing, believe it or not. Because I'm saying that out of 100, if you got 100 family members, we'll say at least 80 to 90% of them are going to do you bad, but there's still that 10% that's good.
I ain't meditate. Out of all the families that I've interacted with in my career, out of all the families that I've interacted in the 40 years of my living, I have yet to see it. Every family that I've been introduced to or seen or had the pleasure to be around for holidays or different events or different occasions or just different things, man. Like, y'all be surprised the family gossip I have heard just coming in as family outsider, man.
As a family outsider, but I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong, and I see exactly where you're going with it. I just again because I guess I've seen like in my family. Now, is everybody in my family legit 100? And no, I have drug addicts and drunks in my family that I can't trust worth a dime. But I also have solid family members that when I needed them, they was like, "Okay, Jay, what you need me to do?" And they at the drop of a dime, they own it.
Yeah, I've never met any of mine. Anytime I've ever needed them, they took more than they gave. They've lied more than they've been honest, or they threw me under the bus more times than I can count. I will say, after I posted that video though, online like last year sometime, of like my mom leaving me in the hospital while she went to Florida or whatever. After that, I will say that like I have a notice of change in her personally, so I want to acknowledge that because I feel like people don't get enough acknowledgement when they are trying to rectify a situation that they made wrong for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to acknowledge that because that's the one person I've been able to count on like lately, and I would be really surprised because I've never been able to count on her for anything in my life.
That that's interesting. Like, cause I remember we talked before. Cause I know there was your mom did do some things that were just out of this world to me because I've never seen a mother do certain things that we talked about before. You know, and to see that now that she's, I guess, getting at a point that she's starting to maybe come around a little bit. Could we say that?
Yeah, I would say old age, like when you're in your 70s, so my mom just turned 71. So I would say, in your 70s at times, it's it's times that you are ready, right?
Right.
And able to do certain things and you want to change your perspective, you want to change your life, you want to get it right before you decease or perish out.
Right.
So, I get it. There are times when we're not gonna always get along because I still have those memories. Like people think that just because you get over it or you forgive a person that you automatically forget the memories or you forget the feeling or you forget all of the nightmares or the bad dreams or just all of the different things that you go through in that moment. Mm-hmm. I don't forget any of that. So I still know that like what was done to me basically. Mm-hmm. But I also have to acknowledge the credit that is being made from her of at least trying.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to give an E for effort, so I can definitely understand it. So, I mean, it's really good to see that, and I can understand, as you just said, like, at a certain age, people start to realize, like, hey, I got more days behind me than in front of me. So let me go ahead and try to make these things right. Yeah, right the wrongs of the past. At least it's attempt to. So definitely, congrats and salutes to her for that.
No. Yeah, she tried to make amends, and so you have to meet people where they are, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so that's what I'm trying to do now. Currently, is just meet her where she is.
Yes, and that's a beautiful thing, and I definitely want to keep that going. Now, I want to go ahead and like switch up for a second here. I want to because we know that you are a music manager. Now, I want to focus more on the music, the art of it, right now. Now, how do you feel about the way the music is today is being made and like what's being put out there?
Can you say that to me one more time?
Sure. How do you feel about the music that's being played today, that's being pushed today?
Yo, I think it sucks.
All right, all right. All right, so
No offense to them. You know, this is no offense to you guys out there in the music world, right? No offense to y'all, but today's music sucks. Y'all are not promoting what I would want the youth to really be listening to. Personally, just because I feel like the youth should be probably listening to like, I don't know, something that is not gonna have them killing, stealing, and destroying.
well, I mean, I agree with you, and I mean, we have now, believe it or not, we do have artists out there that are promoting more of what you're talking about. However, it seems that people are more attracted to the negative. And I mean, if we look at just like the nation as a whole, we actually do like the negative. We celebrated Bonnie and Clyde. We love villains. We love the Joker.
Okay, no, correction. We like a little ratchet. A little. Like, everybody likes a little. But the stuff that these girls are doing nowadays, the stuff the guys are doing nowadays, as somebody that grew up all my life in the streets, I don't promote this type of activity because I just feel like we should be utilizing a change, right? So when I got into gang banging and drug dealing and all of that stuff that sent me to prison, and you know, you kind of know most of my story. The world will hear it soon. But I didn't actually get into it because of what most kids get into it for the day. I got into it because I was hungry. I needed school clothes. I was tired of being ridiculed for wearing the same clothes or hand-me-downs from like your older cousins. You know, in the black community, we go through that a lot when you live in the projects.
Correct.
As everyone knows, you know, it's times where you know you don't have what you want, so you have to make that.
No, this is true. This is true. I mean, it's survival of the fittest at that point. So I see exactly where you're coming from with that. Now, to going back to like as far as with music and everything like that, the only other thing that I would possibly say is that because I agree with you that yes, the positive should be expressed more, and it should, but there's still that it needs to be more balanced. Let's say it like that, because it's like an overload of the negative. Now, if we start to put some more on the positive side of the scale, it balances it out more. It gives people more options to choose from because now people think that okay, I have to be this drill rapper, I have to be this trap rapper, I have to be this ratchet in order to get notoriety. But if we can show like for like examples like the Rhapsodies of the world, who is a phenomenal artist by the way, and if I'm not mistaken, I think she won a Grammy last year. She's just getting shine, you know, and there are tons more like her. Like, yes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of artists out there these days that I feel like are so dope that people are overlooking. Like, case in point to my girl Juicy Fruit, shout out to you. You know I fuck with you the long way. I feel like she is underrated, yo. I don't know if they're blackballing her or what they got going on, but I'm gonna need them to open the doors for my girl. Cause when it comes to lyrics, she's there. Like, she's just it. Also, shout out to Lakia. Like, she's another one that just made it out of Atlanta. She's not even from Atlanta, but you know, she made it out of Atlanta. She should be a lot further than she is in music. Destiny Lynn is another one. My favorite song by her is Survival Mode. So if y'all ain't heard that song, shout out to her. You have to go get that song. Because that song is the realest hood song I've ever heard. Just because it embodiments and it reflects everything that we actually went through in that moment. There are so many, like, I can name 1,000 artists that I feel like are being slept on literally right now.
Yes.
And I feel like if the music industry would really just open up their ears and hear these artists and hear the messages and the positivity and just everything that the struggle that embodies what we've been through in our personal lives, I think that like they would rock out. But because everything is a twerk song or ratchet or a bitch deep throating down her throat, we're not gonna ever get to that point.
I got you. Now, you make a good point. That's what I'm saying. A balance. You know what I mean? Because again, just like you said, it's like so much of the ratchetness and not enough of the righteousness that it looks like people who want to be righteous, they want to get to that other side. They want to get to the bag. So they're like, maybe I gotta go to the ratchet side, hide my righteous side, so that I can get to the money.
So it's a good thing that you said that, right? So I'm gonna keep it a band with you. I've had several artists, right, that have come out and nobody paid attention to them. Nobody. And then the moment that they done went and got a BBL, or they done went and got their face lifted, or they done went and got all these things to make them industry deemable, then people have stood and took notice. And I always tell my artists, especially the females, we are not changing anything about you. I'm going to make them hear you. I will make them listen to you.
So you want them to
because that's all it is at this point in life is literally just believing in your artist, having a business plan in mind of where you want to go with your artist,
right?
Taking it there, and then rocking out with it, and just not giving up, like believing in it 100%.
Right. So like those artists who you speak about who go unnoticed, it would be more that they build up an audience for themselves and make those big guys come and talk to them.
Nah, because you don't even need the big guys. You know how many artists that I got right now on my roster that's still independent? We thought about nobody. We've not even looked into labels because we've made so much money on our own. Like, okay, so all you need as an artist, right, is somebody that is, first of all, you can't manage yourself, even though artists think that they can. You guys do not know what y'all are doing. Like, that shit is crazy. Y'all do not know what you're doing. So you need to really stick to somebody that's got a business mind and plan for you, and then trust them. But mostly, it's literally just branding yourself. When people tell you no, see, why most artists don't make it is because so many people have told you no, or they have gotten your hopes up, or you've been through things and it's been a scam, or it hasn't been something that is like deemable in your eyes, you give up. You don't fight for it. You don't go for it. You know what I mean? When I first started as a hip-hop manager, you know how many no's I got? How many times people told me no? How many times that I looked in people's face and they told me no just because of the color of my skin?
No.
Or they told me that I was a little too ratchet and I was a little too ghetto. I've been told I've been a little too brutally honest at times, Like, in this business, everyone has an opinion. And if you don't have the thick enough skin to hear the criticism and the things that people say and the down talking that people say to you, or the delusionals that they call you and all the names that they call you, if you don't have a thick skin for that, you're wasting your time in this business, because you're never going to make it in this business, ever.
Yeah, so it's good to have like those, because it's good to have those people around you, because like, I mean, say what you will, Damon Dash, as much of as a jerk they may say he is unruly as people may say he is, at the end of the day, he stands up for his artists, he stands up for his business, and he stands up for his morals and principles, and you have to respect that at the end of the day. And
yes.
And it's great when you have people on your team who are like that. So like whenever you start to like go off from reality, they're there to snap you back into it.
Yes. Also, you need people that aren't yes men. So a lot of these artists out here in the industry that you see crashing and burning, the reason that they're crashing and burning is because there are not enough people that are blunt. There are not enough honest people in their camp. There are not enough people that are giving it to them uncut, unraw, unfiltered, uncensored. They are so busy trying to secure their own bag, so they don't want to tell you that you are fucking up. They don't want to tell you you're out here looking like a fucking junkie. They don't want to tell you that shit. Because if I tell you you look like a junkie and you take yourself to rehab, the partying stops.
Yeah, I mean, we do see artists who be on different platforms and they just be tweaking out, man. And It's like I'm be looking. I'm like, so there's nobody there to tell Buddy like, hey, dog, this ain't the look. You know what I mean? Before you even go on the camera, like, hey, bro, you might need to take a minute, get yourself together because you don't look right. But again, if that artist is making X amount of dollars a year or a month or however he's getting the money, and he's paying his people X, Y, and Z, well, I guess his people are looking at it like, well, I got bills to pay, man. So, I mean, if Buddy tweaking out, it is what it is, but I got to keep my bills.
Not even just the bills. They're like, not even just the bills. It's the sponsorships. It's the advertisement. It's the clout. It's the everything. Like, if you are, like, okay, case in point, I got some real friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can call my friends, like, I can call Tasha, I can call Corky, I can call John T, I can call any of them, and I can be on them like, hey, bruh, y'all want to come to this industry party with me? They gonna tell me no because they gotta work in the next morning. Sometimes they might say yes, they're down, and then sometimes they might be like, nah, we gotta work in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But a yes man, you call them and say, yo, bruh, this industry party, yop. These niggas ain't already got no job because their only job is to walk around all day and be your entourage. They not holding your cameras. They're not recording your podcast. They're not like doing anything to make the money to help you, but they're damn sure gonna be there when they hand out to spend that shit.
Now that says a mouthful.
Look
right
at all
there.
These celebrities with their entourages, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that you need to go be a Mr. Bentley or Mr. Belvedere, you know what I'm saying, or Miss Florence. Mm-hmm. I ain't telling you to go be nobody May and nobody like Butler or nothing. But if I got a crew of people with me and I need you to do this for me, my friends aren't going to ask. They're going to automatically pick up a camera and start recording.
There we go. Those are the people that you need right there.
I don't have to tell them to be like, yo, I'm about to go host this party, or I'm about to go have this interview and I need you to hold this camera for me. I don't have to tell them that. Because guess what? They already went live before I could even tell them that.
There we go.
Because they understand the perks that come with that. They understand the celebrities that come with it. They understand the yacht parties. They understand all that. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to show me that they really rock with me. And this is not just a yes man situation. But a lot of artists, the reason they're downfalling is because they're out here with the yes man. Like, you got artists that's got 30 people with them. Mm-hmm. Now, out of them 30 people, how many is holding your camera?
It's a very good question.
Or are you still paying for the camera guy? Out of 30 of them, how many of them offered to be a driver? Or are you paying for a driver and a car service?
That's a very good question. Like, you know what I mean?
Out of 30 of them, how many people of them have asked to be your assistant? How many of them are accepting your phone calls, writing your emails back, sending texts back, doing anything that they could do to help motivate you because you helped them?
That's what I mean
You're
about...
not going to find too many.
No, that's what I mean about having solid people.
The ones that you do find, they came with their friends from the jump.
Right. Like, what's LeBron and what's buddy name? That's his manager or whatever. I can't remember his name to save my life right now, but I know they came up together.
Oh, I don't know his name. I just know his face when I see him, but I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the dude that be with him all the time.
Yeah. I think he's dating Adele.
Yeah. I can't never remember his name. I just know him as Adele's boyfriend.
Yeah, right. But
and LeBron's friend.
Exactly. It's killing me right now, but somebody will let me know. But yeah, just having like those type of solid people in your corner, like as you said, that came up with you from the jump. You know what I mean? You need those. That's what I'm talking about. Like with Dame, you need somebody who started from the jump, who was in the trenches, and is going to keep it real with you, no matter how big you get. Because
okay, so everybody wants to be your friend when they can meet celebrities. They want to be your friend when they get on the boat with you. They want to be your friend when they're on these private jets with you. But late night, you still feel alone because those are not the people that you can really confide in, because those are the same people that's going to sell your stories on TMZ.
Yeah, like, who is the friends that you can call when the IRS needs to give you an audit and you don't know what to do?
Look at Diddy. Poor thing. He ain't had no friend. I kept saying that for years, but everybody thought I was crazy. When I kept saying, nah, them ain't Diddy's friends. Them motherfuckers is just his friends that's convenient for the moment. You know what I'm saying? They enjoying the parties. They enjoying the escapades and all that stuff. But when the feds came and the IRS came knocking, how many of them do you honestly think is really giving that man commissary for real? How many of y'all out there really think that they are over there, like, writing him letters, answering phone calls? The one leak phone call that they did leak online with him and Jay-Z, that man didn't say nothing to help him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't say nothing to help him. He came out like, I don't know what you're talking about. Which, shout out to Jay-Z, because that was smart. Shout out to you. That was most definitely smart. You feel me? I wouldn't have said nothing. As a reformed criminal, sir, I wouldn't have said nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Jay-Z is definitely an intelligent man that we can tell by the moves he's been making since he started until today.
Well, the most intelligent thing that I seen him do was keep Beyonce doped up on drugs so she don't know what the fuck going on. But, you know, that's my inside tidbit for the day.
Yeah, we're just going to say allegedly because we don't know for certain. Because I don't know.
Yeah. Let me say allegedly. I allegedly, you know, seen some stuff, but we still going to say allegedly.
Right. It's all alleged. Just
allegedly. I allegedly seen some stuff. Maybe at a BET party a couple years ago, but we're going to just say allegedly.
There we go. Now, let me ask you a little bit more about just like the art of music. If you were to say like, who would you say would be like your top 5, let's say, R&B artists?
Ooh, R&B?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's tricky. Do they have to be in the industry already? Or can they just be like people I'm listening to currently?
Yeah, I mean, like it's up to your interpretation.
Okay, so my top tier. I know this is gonna sound corny, you guys, because it's gonna be a little unorthodox. It's gonna be a little bit out the way. But if I'm gonna give you a little old school, a little new school, and a little up and coming. All right, because my top. My top tier. Okay, so number 1 for me would probably be Brandy.
Okay.
I've been a Brandy fan probably all my life.
All right, hey, same here.
I just think the soulful R&B style of her voice, and the way that she does the cadences, her riffs, her in and outs, just her ad libs, just everything about the way she comes about it is just phenomenal. I just think her style, the way she sometimes talks it, then she sings it, and then she writes it. It just brings it all together for me. So top 1 will always be Brandy. All right. Like I know multiple people is probably looking at me like I'm crazy right now. But
I'm a Brandy fanatic. I'm a Brandy head forever. Like, listen, don't know what I ever do without you from the beginning to the end. What?
That was my jam. Oh my God.
I'm trying to tell you, I still play that to this day. So yeah, shout out to Brandy. So
me too. But that was my favorite one. My favorite one was sitting up in my room, packing, thinking about you. Yeah, that is my favorite one. I be jamming like that. That one got me through a few heartbreaks. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lie.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So you said Brandy was number 1. Who would be number 2?
Number 1. No, that's number 1. Number 2, I gotta give credit where credit is due. And we're not going to sit here and act like she is not the baddest vocalist in the world. I just think that, like, Brandy tops her when it comes to the riff. But other than that, I think that they're neck and neck. So we're not going to sit here and act like Mariah Carey isn't just that shit.
Ooh.
We are not going to act like Miss Carey, if you nasty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, yes, Mariah.
It's not top tier because Mariah Carey can turn a Christmas song into a tear fest moment. You hear me?
Yeah, I mean the way she hit them high notes. Ooh.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's how she be doing it. You know what I'm saying? I can't say nothing, but that's how she be doing it. That be on fire. Ooh, you know?
Hey, I hear you. So all right, so we got.
So she would have to be like my top tier. I love her. I just really, really love her.
All right, that's what's up. Now, definitely.
Now we gotta go into my new school.
Number 3.
That's a shout out to Anne Marie because.
You said A. Marie?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's just one thing that's got me tripping. It's just you talking about the A. Marie?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just making sure I got you. All right, yeah, definitely shout out A. Marie.
No, I don't know. I mean, I do know another one, but yeah, she more not R&B. She can sing her ass off, but she like not more R&B. She more like hip hop R&B. So you don't really get like the ballads from her. But her name is Anne Marie too. Shout out to her because she really is a phenomenal like singer hip hopist. But she more raps than she sings.
Okay.
So she only give you a ballad like every once in a while. So I can't really call her R&B.
Okay, got you.
But for hip hop, if you were wanting to listen to a hip hop vibe, that Anne Marie would be your best bet. And then,
all right,
so shout out to number 4. It's gonna be my Lady Sacred.
Hey, one time for Lady Sacred.
Shout out to you, Lady Sacred, cause boy, hearing that album in the studio, we ain't gonna get no tidbits away because that was an insider peek tip that I got to behind the scenes. So we're gonna keep that under wraps until she tells the world. But y'all need to be looking out for that album because that album straight fire. You hear me? Like she's got 10 phenomenal songs that I want to put on one. She might hit y'all with the 2. I don't really know yet. She's still debating. But when they come out, she's shutting it down. Shutting it down, okay?
Yes. So definitely shout out Lady Sacred. Hey, shouts out to you. Definitely, hey, I definitely can't wait to tap in with you. All right, so we got number 4. So what's number 5?
And then my last not least is my client. So I might be a little biased, but when y'all go check him out, you're gonna know that I'm telling you the absolute truth. He has a single coming out this coming Friday on the 18th called Warning. He also has a ballad with Sadie Jean. Shout out to her. That I got to happen in collabs. That's coming for Mother's Day. I want to drop that one on Mother's Day for all the ladies out there to have a surprise on Mother's Day. So you guys be looking out for that one. Yes. But it would be YBH Loverboy, duh.
Hey, one time for YBH Loverboy, man. Shouts out to you, my man. That's what's up, man. Hey, Loverboy is phenomenal. If y'all don't know yet, YBH Loverboy, hey, he is a phenomenal artist. Trust me when I tell you, man. Chock full of energy, crazy talented. You're going to love him. So that's
Listen to me. If you do not know him, when I am done with this young man, the world will know him. Because not only does he rap, he sings, he freestyles, he does not write. So all the songs that y'all are finna hear, we're just now getting him to write. And I'm hoping he still wrote my song about how we met, which is another story we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
But, he is just a dope artist all the way around. Like, any beat, he's sliding on it, I promise.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Loverboy, man, shouts out to you, my guy. For real. Now, I want to ask you another question. I want to go into the business side of it because you are a manager at the same time as well as along with everything else. So I want to know that as a black woman in this business, what do you feel needs improvement in order to make it better for women that look like you?
I really feel the industry should let artists be who they are. Because you put them in competition with each other. And sometimes that's helpful. And sometimes it's not. Like, there are times that, a friendly competition should be awarded it.
Right.
And then there are times that it really just should not. And I think sometimes when artists do not conform to the way that the industry want them to conform, and they don't do what the industry wants them to do, they will try to get another artist that look like them, sound like them. And then they will throw it out to us like we're supposed to care that you done gave me this off-brand knockoff version.
Right.
Because that's what it be. It'd be an off-brand knockoff version. It don't never be somebody that's either gonna be better than that artist or at least on equal footing with that artist. It's gonna be some knockoff generic version that's gonna be watered down a little bit, and it is what it is, and we're supposed to accept their music because the beat's hot and the chorus is singable.
No, you're saying a mouthful with that one. You're definitely saying a mouthful with that one. So yeah, it should be like where artists should be themselves because it gives them more options versus just. It's almost like imagine like the NFL, but with only 2 teams. it's going to be boring. Like you,
or you remember the movie Stepford, the Stepford Wives?
I'm not familiar.
Okay, so it was this movie, right, back in the day. Most people gonna know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a movie about a clone neighborhood, and everybody had the same house. They dressed the same. All the guys went to the same kind of job. They all drove the same car. You know, the wives dressed alike. They thought alike. And then, because nobody ever knew this neighborhood,
mm-hmm.
one day, just out of the blue, pops up a guy and this lady and their kids that were colorful. They didn't have the clothes or the look or the personality that they had.
Right.
So they were trying very hard to conform them to be very robotic. And the whole movie is these people fighting against being the same. Like, they wanted to stand out. They wanted to be different. The one thing about me is that I don't want to look like anyone. I don't want to dress like you. I don't want to talk like you. I don't want to, like,
right.
I don't want anything. The only thing we might have the same is probably my hair colors. You know what I'm saying? And that's because I wear all colors. You know,
you're a very colorful person.
That, I don't give a fuck about what you got on, who you are, where you are. I will compliment you when a compliment is due and keep it pushing.
There we go. Hey, I love it. Now, I have another question for you, if I could, please, because I know we were talking about something earlier. Definitely, we're gonna keep it on business for this next one. Now, let me ask you, what does it mean to own a business, and why do people feel that owning a business means you have tons of money just lying around?
Oh, thank you, because we was about to get in depth with this on the phone earlier, you and me. So I'm glad we saved it for the podcast because, so y'all out there in the world, a lot of y'all are gonna fail at your businesses because you feel like that just because you own a business, you have tons of money. So I'm gonna break it down to you as logistic as I can. That is not true. I don't know who told you that. I don't know. Listen to me. Just because you get a $250,000 check for your business, don't mean you personally get the $250,000 check.
Yes.
Like,
that's a fact.
All of that goes back into the logistics of your business. It goes back into the merchandising. It goes back into the rent. It goes back into the water. It goes back into the supplies. It goes back into your employees. It goes back into, just to stay in the websites or to stay in the links or, like marketing or advertisements or recruiting new contracts. Like that stuff, you need money for all of that. I don't know who told you just because you own a business that you get 100% of the profits. That is most definitely not true. And that is why most businesses fail within the first I'll say 3 years of being open, because you guys do not understand that you do not see a return profit from your business until the 3rd year. You pay yourself when you first start a business. You are to pay yourself like an employee. I get a salary. Now I get my quarterlies and I'm doing great. And even then it's still not what people think it is. Like, even when I get all these checks don't come to me. I still have staff. I still have editors.
Right.
I still have marketing people. I still have promoters. I still have radio hosts. I still have DJs. I still have branding. I still have all of these different avenues of people that I have to pay that has worked just as hard, if not harder than me, for all of those things.
Exactly. And in order to keep the businesses afloat, these people must be paid.
Right. You do not want your employees out here talking about you're a boss and you do not pay them, because that is horrible.
Yeah, trust me. You're definitely not going to have many people. You're going to have nobody trying to work for you at that point. So it's definitely important to definitely keep the lifeblood of the company running, which is the team.
Yes, because it's like that old little saying, right? It's a little saying out there in the world that says, like, you teach a guy, well, hold on, I'm going to say it how my granddaddy said it. You give a guy a fish, he will starve. You teach a guy to fish, they will succeed and they will always have food. Because, in other words, breaking down is, when you have a business, 50% of your income go back into that business. Majority of smart business owners like myself, like Jay, like other people that you see out here crushing it and making millions of dollars in their fields, is because they spend, like, when they get those checks, they don't spend $1. They pay themselves like an employee. Like right now, I pay myself maybe, sometimes it could be $4,000 a month, sometimes it might be $5,000 a month. It just depends on how big the checks are. But I pay myself a salary payment like I work a 9 to 5.
Right, exactly. Because again, that's what it means. That's what owning a business is about.
Yes, and if you do not, you're going to bankrupt. You're going to be MC Hammer and Tony Braxton broke.
And we definitely don't want that to happen. Trust me.
You are going to be broke.
Oh my goodness. Kola, hey, listen. I'm trying to tell you, your takes, they need to be heard, and that's what we're doing here with the podcast today. So I definitely want to appreciate you for like definitely opening up like this. Now, like
yeah, you know I act like this even when we on the phone. But I got a question for you, and then you can ask me a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm dying to know the answer to this, and I think I've been holding it in until we come in.
Okay.
And so, that is gonna be my answer, which is gonna be, so Jay.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you with people trying to double back to you? Like, let's just say you have like wanted to work with someone, right? And they necessarily did not want to work with you, and so they told you no for whatever reason.
Well, I would look at that.
And they've had to come back to you.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Oh man, like that right there, that's fuel, baby. That's all that is. That is high octane booster fuel right there. Like I love when I actually have people tell me no, and then they come back and like, come back after you've reached a new plateau. It's almost like how Mike Jones said it back then. They didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. It's being able to filter out the real from the fake. But just knowing that they'd always come back. It's almost like that Chucky movie. I always come back. Yeah, they'll be back. And when they do, I treat you how you treated me. And again, I just keep it pushing. So that, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just all about just keeping it pushing and recognizing who's real and who's not.
Yes, I love that. That was beautifully said.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I've been being in this business for so long. I have been through the ringer with people, you know? So, I have wanted to always understand that, because everybody that has always told me they didn't need me or cussed me out, said they didn't need my money, new artists, I hear that a lot.
Right.
And when they see that, like, I really am who I say I am, and I really know the people that I say I know, or I really do the things that I say I do, it's always like they come back.
Exactly. It's like a boomerang.
They apologize. They let me know that, you know, they see me or whatever.
Right. Yeah, and see, once they apologize, see, that's the thing about being able to apologize. It's like it's a humbleness that comes with that. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning, like when they actually like duck off or be like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," etc., and they see that you do know what you're talking about, you did do what you say you're gonna do. For some, it's difficult for them to humble themselves. It's necessary in order to make progress. But why do you think it's difficult for some people to humble themselves after they see that you're correct?
Mostly pride, maybe.
I could see that. Pride, ego. You know, a lot of people like they don't want to have their ego like messed with or disrupted. So they have difficulties with that. So I can see why you would say pride.
Yeah, like pride is a major factor. for a lot of people.
Yes.
Just because, you know, when your pride is wounded or your pride is in it, it's kind of hard to like get it from that. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And Cole, I'm trying to tell you, like, girl, you're a genius here. You hear me? Like, what we saying to these people right now, man, it's going to go a long, long way with them. You know, and that's the goal of this podcast is just to be able to put out a message out there to help people and help them grow and be better people. Now, I wanted to ask you, like, before we wrap up, just a couple of trending topics, if we could, please. Is that all right with you, madam?
Oh yeah, you know we got as much time as you want to do this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, like, well, we already touched on Diddy a little bit earlier. I mean, that was one of them. I mean, if you had anything like as far as like, how do you feel as far as like with Puff, the case, the video with Cassie? Now Cassie is going to actually testify in court. Now we know that he did pay her earlier, and that was supposed to be it. But now she's doubling back and saying, "No, I'm going to testify against you." So, like, just what are your thoughts on the whole Diddy case?
Yo, so many thoughts.
All right.
When I say so many, oh my God, let me see. Hold on, Jay, because I'm gonna have to form this nicely, because you already know it's getting ready to come. So when it comes to my thoughts on Diddy, y'all, ooh, child. How can I say this? Because my thoughts on Diddy kind of come in two ways. So I'm going to have to break down both ways for y'all when it comes to my thoughts on Diddy. So I'm going to have to break this down both ways, you guys. So bear with me.
All right, okay? All right.
So the first way number one is he got what he deserved. Plain and simple, allegedly, whatever you want to say. For the people that's like me, that's been around this game for a while, we done heard the stories, we done heard Wendy, we done been back in the 90s. Like I was a teenager in the 90s. So I remember all of the tabloid stories, and I remember being in the streets for real at that time and hearing the whispers behind the scenes. So, for me, this is like vindication, Wendy. You know what I'm saying? Like, way to go, Wendy. We got your vindication, girl.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, shouts out to Wendy.
We got it, Wendy.
Yeah, because, yes.
But, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, I do feel like it's an unfair trade because the same people that was partying at this man's parties, the same people allegedly, we're going to say allegedly, we're going to keep it cute and say allegedly, the people that was signing NDA non-disclosure agreements at this man's party, the people that was behind the scenes, people that, like me, that was not partaking at these particular parties or taking these particulars, I learned from a Diddy party, no cap, not to eat, drink, smoke, nothing from them. When they offer you anything, you don't take nothing.
All right, so wait, do you really think that the baby oil was like laced?
Yes, facts.
Facts. That's
I'm not even gonna
nasty
say
work.
allegedly, that's facts.
That is nasty work. I don't know.
And the reason I can say that it's facts, because they did the same thing with Hugh Hefner. So let me tell you why these guys are getting away with this. Because as a teenage kid that grew up in detention centers that was trading us out for sex trafficking, these guys are in power, right? Anybody that's in power can get away with anything. Because a lot of these guys aren't stupid. So a lot of the people that are going to these parties are your judges. They are your police chiefs. They are your detectives. They are your everyone.
Right. And all of them they're out there and they're having a good time, so they should be held accountable just because here's the thing.
No, that's not it. They go to these parties and they're being recorded. They've been solicited and brought in on purpose. They're showing up at hotels with women thinking that they're just paying for a night. The woman has already came into the hotel in advance, set up a camera, a recording device. She's already called you by your name twice.
Right.
You've spoken on the camera, whatever, however many times. You know what I'm saying? And then when you think that one night is just over,
it lives on.
Boop, 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 boop. They got him.
It lives on. Now, well, let me ask this question, because it is a RICO that they're trying to get him with. Now, from my knowledge, I'm not like super court savvy. So, but from my understanding, when it comes to a RICO, it's typically more than one person.
So when they do a RICO charge for somebody that had the feds kick their dough in, well, you get a RICO charge, right? Not only do you have the feds sniffing around you, and you have to deal with that. And let me throw this out there to the public. I don't give a fuck what your homies say about getting bonded out while he's on federal. Anything. As a girl that has been arrested and had to be sent to prison, there aren't any bonds on fed charges, period, at all. Period. When I say period, I mean period.
Oh.
So all these guys out there that are telling you, yo, I got probation for this, that's why they let me out. No, nigga. Shame on you.
Wow. Well, hey, man, true bonds being dropped today.
I just want to throw that out there for the street homies one time, because you know what I'm saying, y'all got a lot of niggas in your camp talking about how he was bonded out on that good old fed charge. No, baby, he done stitched his way out on that fed charge, bitch. Ain't no bond. Trust me, I know. The feds kicked my dough in 09. Trust me, I know. There is no bond on no federal charges. I don't care what they say. They lawyer ain't that good, and I had a beast of the beast of a beast.
Yes. Shouts out to him. Now,
yeah, shout out to him, because that's the only way y'all are hearing me today, is because, you know, me and my baby daddy had to go through some things.
Yes, Lord. That's Lord. Another story for another day, people. Another story for another day.
That'll be like our prison talk one day when we just talk about the prison and the penitentiary system. I will relay that story to y'all another day. I just had to throw that out there for my little tidbit. But
yeah, but speaking of which, and speaking of being locked up and things of that nature, I'm glad that you talked about that. The Carmelo Anthony case in Texas. Are you familiar with this one?
Kind of, but refresh my memory real quick.
All right. Well, basically, it was a kid. They were at some type of football game or track meet. It was at a different location. It wasn't at the school. It was raining. There was a tent. The black kid goes inside the tent. Two white kids go to the black kid. Hey, move. He's like, no, leave me alone. It escalates more. The black kid says, hey, leave me alone. Reaches in his bag, grabs a knife. The white guy keeps messing with him. The black kid stabs him one time. Poke, drops. White kid falls out, dies. Black kid gets arrested. Now he's being held on I want to say like $1 million bond, which is ridiculous.
And no, they need to let that kid go. Let him go free. Because if that was the white kid and roles were reversed, the white kid wouldn't even talk. It went away.
This is the argument that's being made right now, because now there's actually people who are actually financing the family. They have like a GoFundMe to build up money for his case. Now, the GoFundMe was shut down multiple times, which is very weird.
Who is shutting it down, do you know?
I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to lie, but I know it's been shut down more than once. I think they got it back up and running now. So I have to double check.
Are they giving a reason as to why they're shutting it down, or are they just shutting it down?
As far as I know, like, I don't want to speak too much as far as like why, because I'm not 100% sure. I'm still digging more into it as we speak. But I mean, right. I just want to know more about as far as like, can we consider this self-defense?
I would, because if roles were reversed and it was the black kid that would have died, I don't think this would have even been a question of debate. But since that it is, from a standpoint of going through domestic violence and some other stuff that I done went through, like I've had a rough life. You guys will know as the weeks go into months. With the podcast, we will air it all out. I am very open with it. But as someone that is not going to stand there and let you walk up on me, first of all, and attack me, I do not know you.
Right.
We do not have any issues outside of this one situation.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to feel like it was appropriate, okay,
Mm-hmm.
to come in my orbit,
Mm-hmm.
not only attack me,
Mm-hmm. Because that's exactly what it was.
But also think that just because you were a white boy,
yes,
that it was deemable for you to do so.
Yeah, see,
when you did not know me. Because you did not like the interaction with me and you, gave you no right to put your hands on me.
Mm-hmm.
It gave you no right to invade my personal space. And this isn't a black or white thing at all. This is if that little boy had been white, I'd have wanted him to fuck the black boy up. This is an equal opportunity situation right now because
right.
Yeah, I don't care if you black or white.
No, you're absolutely right.
You better not stand there with your dumb ass unless somebody walk up on you and hit you.
No, because
black or white. It could be black, white, Mexican, blue, green. I don't give a fuck. If somebody is approaching you, you like they is getting ready to harm you.
Yes.
Your first instinct in your motherfucking mind should be to motherfucking attack them no matter who the fuck it is.
And now here's the thing. Okay. The father also came out and said, hey, this is not about race. So the father of the boy who died, he says this is not about race. I don't want to make this about race. So there's still arguments about trying to make it racial. Like there are certain ways that reporters are reporting the story.
There is no argument. There isn't a this is listen to me. So I need the world to understand something, right? And I am actually saying this in a park where there's a lot of people that can hear me because I came out to Lake Julian today, y'all. It's fabulous. If you've never been here, you need to try. This is not a race thing. I need people to stop trying to make everything about race. It's not a race thing. This is I am a person. I am a human being. I do not deserve the right, no matter what color I am, what gender I am, what I call myself, what equality I am. I deserve the right to not have anyone come assault me.
Exactly. So you do have a right.
I deserve the right to not be spit on. I deserve the right to not be downgraded with your physical form, with words. If y'all are out here arguing and killing people over what they say to you, you're stupid and you're going to jail. Done.
Now here's the thing. They're trying to make cases saying that the knife might have been too long.
I don't give a fuck what your reasoning is. You do not have the right, no matter who you are or what color you are, to put your hands on anyone. And if you do decide that you want to leapfrog your ass up there and put your hands on somebody, your ass better be big enough and bold enough to stand up with the consequences. I'm gonna tell you something. He stabbed him. He tried to beat the fuck out you and then probably killed you.
No, but see, here's the thing. He did the opposite. Once he stabbed him, when the police came, he said flat out, yes, I did it. Is the boy okay? Is the white boy okay? So he showed...
I wouldn't have been asking that. I wouldn't have cared. Did you not hear what I just said? They better be lucky it was him. He gave a crap in the end. You hit me, I do not give a fuck about you, your feelings, or your life. You gonna back up one way or the other. And that's not a black or a white thing. That's not a racial thing. That's not a man versus woman thing. I feel like as a human being, I have the right to not have somebody walk up and fucking assault me. I don't give a fuck what color you are. If you walk up on anyone, whether they are black or white, and you assault them, that white person, that black person has the right to motherfucking haul off and do whatever the fuck they got to do to your ass to get you to back the fuck up, period. Now, it's different when you are walking up as the aggressor. When you are walking up actively hitting someone, you deserve whatever consequences come your way. When you are in the middle of a word battle, you do not have the right to haul off and hit someone. And that's where people go wrong. Everyone thinks because, oh, I'm mad, I get the right to hit you. No, because you walk up on the wrong one, that will end your life. Fucking with me will end your life. Fucking with him clearly ended his life. The eyes say, let him free. Where they at? What camera I need to go to? Let him free.
There we go.
I feel like, no, that boy shouldn't even spend one day in jail. First of all, because where was the adults? Where was the boy who died's parents? When your son was walking up here trying to be Billy Badass and a bully, why you as the goddamn grown ass parent didn't say, hey, wait a minute, that don't look safe.
Yeah, I mean, because when you have children who act out in that way, that really is a reflection of what's going on with them at home.
That meant you allowed your son to think that he could walk up and he could do whatever he wanted to do to that young man with no dire consequences.
This is what we're saying, people. So definitely,
That's what you decided to do with yourself. You decided to tell yourself that this young man's life wasn't worth nothing. His feelings, his value was not worth nothing. And because I don't know if the white privilege kicked in or you just decided that, hey, this is what I've come to today, either way, whatever it was, you decided that this is what you was going to do. And that is cool. You have the right to do that. But what you did have the right to do was lose your motherfucking son behind stupidity. Because as an adult, I would have never let my son walk over there. I would have never let any kid decide that that is where you're going to take it. It's a difference if you're allowing your kid to defend themselves, but when you're clearly the aggressor, you clearly walked over, you clearly allowed your son to say what he said, you clearly allowed him to do what he did, and then you're screaming outrage and lock him up because the other person had the same right that your son did. His parents had the same right to allow him to defend himself. Now you're mad and you want to throw the book at him. No, let him go. Because you should have taught your son that you don't walk up on people and put your motherfucking hands on people. Because nowadays, people put their motherfucking hands back on you or they pick up weapons and they shoot you. That is a given. We are in 2025. Ain't nobody talking about they don't know no better. So if the little black boy need to go to jail, so does the white parents. The white parents need to be in jail because why you didn't see your son no matter.
Now here's the thing. Now there is a case that Carmelo can use in his defense. Now, are you familiar with the Jordan Neely Daniel Penny case in New York?
I do.
All right. Now that case, Daniel Penny was considered protecting the people and enacting some type of self-defense because again, and he snuck up on Jordan Neely, who was much smaller than him, much lighter than him. He, Daniel Penny, is a military trained officer, snuck up on him. Remind you, and the only thing that the kid was doing was just yelling and screaming. He wasn't touching a soul. But Daniel Penny snuck up, killed this young man, and Daniel Penny is considered a hero. So if he's considered a hero for defending the train from somebody yelling, then why wouldn't Carmelo be considered a hero for getting a bully off of him? That aggressed him.
Well,
like the bully attacked
him
him.
a hero because I didn't consider him a hero. I thought he was stupid. Listen to me. I spent a lot of time around real violence and real people that are embedded in real sadistic stuff. I spent a lot of my childhood living a real street life where it pertained to a lot of dangerous people, not just the young niggas and niggas that we know over here, but some real niggas that will do some things to your ass. And one other thing I can always appreciate with them, they always had loyalty and they always had honesty.
All right. No,
they didn't pick and choose battles. Like it was like they only fuck with you if you fuck with them. They didn't go out of their way to seek danger. They didn't go out of their way to fuck you up. They stayed in their own little cliques. I think the world now, because cameras are involved, and I know this is going to be a taboo subject for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people is not going to care what I'm saying, but it's a factual statement. You know, it just you have to just take it for what it is because it's going to be factual. A lot of people are underestimating cameras, man, because I remember growing up in the 90s and the late 80s with the mob and the cartels when they were running rapid, for real. Now, you know, they're spread it out and you hardly ever hear about them anymore. They've learned to stay in the shadows nowadays. They aren't out in the front anymore. But when I was first coming up, you know, they were the flashier ones. And I remember a lot of things that they would teach us as we was coming. And you just fought your battle out. Like you fist fought. Like I just remember the 90s, there weren't, we had guns and we had knives and box cutters and stuff.
Right.
But unless you actually had a weapon in your hand when you ran up on us, we didn't use that shit. We just fist fought you. But because cameras are so rapid and because everything is being recorded nowadays, no one wants to watch the world see them get beat up.
Embarrassment, exactly.
Yeah, no one wants their pride. That's why I said earlier when you asked me that one question, and I told you pride.
Yes.
Pride is the reason why the world is going the way it is. Because everybody has ego. Everybody has a chip on their shoulder. Everybody wants to be the biggest, or the baddest, or the coolest. or you think that shit makes you somebody, and it makes you a nobody. It makes you a prisoner. It makes you 3, 5, 4, 7, 8, 9, 6, 10 Raleigh State Penitentiary. That's what it makes you. Or Florida, or Georgia, or New York, or Detroit, or whatever the fuck you say. That's what the hell it makes you. It just makes you a prisoner. So you go from being in the world enslaved to being incarcerated and enslaved. Now, make it make sense, because at least in the world, girl, honey, you got Starbucks.
Wait, now I'm glad you said that, because I want to go to our last trending topic before we wrap this up. And it's funny how you said imprisonment. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the Marvin Sapp case. Well, what happened? I'm not going to say case. The situation that happened with Marvin Sapp.
You talking about the preacher, right?
The preacher.
The what is that? The kid or whatever.
You know Marvin Sapp never would have made it.
Yeah, I know him. That's my gospel playlist guy.
Right. So you're familiar with what happened with him recently with the church and the closing of the doors?
Yes, where he was closing the doors on the people.
Right, and he wanted to he was asking everybody for $40,000 or something like that, like $1,000, something like that.
Which he should have. Which he should have.
All right, so wait.
Yeah, he should have. And I know this is going to be controversial, and they're not going to really like what I'm about to say with this topic. So I'm glad you let this one be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll wrap up, and any pinpoints that you want to ask after we finish, we can do the Q&A if you want. But
okay.
I think he should have. Listen, as a person that believes firmly in God,
mm-hmm.
Everybody's entitled to what you believe.
Right.
You're entitled to believe whatever, however. There's no denying that we all have our own thoughts. We all have our own emotions. We all have our own feelings. And so everyone is entitled to what they want to listen to, what they want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I personally know he exists for many reasons. Like, you can see him clearly. Like, I'm sitting outside at the lake right now doing this podcast to enjoy the sun and the earth and the water all at one time.
Right.
And you don't think that the earth and the trees just spoke to each other one day and said, hey, I'm ground, you're a tree, let's grow.
No, I would think that there will be a design, because the way these things come together, like there's a design, there's a masculine and feminine, so somebody had to make that design.
Yeah, there's no way that, I know people believe in sciences and science, and stuff like that. Everybody believes in that. But there's no way that you're telling me this big ass mountain that cannot be moved, that is overlooking this river or this lake or this waterfall, just woke up one day and say, hey, ground, you down there. I know you can hear me. I decided I want to be a mountain today. How about you put some grass around me and you spring your water up here to the side of me and then flow it back down like a pen?
Yeah, there's an intelligence behind those creations.
Come on now, ain't no way you telling me man thought of that. Man can't even figure out how to get automobiles to run all the way fully without gas. They're using other countries' resources for that right now. Look at the little boy in Africa that made the car strictly off water and garbage and using old fuel. We ain't got nowhere near that. They needed black people to help them even get into space. Ain't no way I'm trusting these people. To think that creation just popped up with somebody. That man just made creation, you just made the fishes. So you just decided one day, hey, let me design this fish and throw him in the water and see what he do. Or you decided to give the birds the wings to figure out how to make it fly. You can't even keep airplanes in the sky long enough without falling. You want me to believe that you got these big ass goddamn bald eagles up here? Some of these motherfuckers is 1,000 pounds and they are flying like they 10-pound featherweight. And you want me to think that man did that? And you can't keep a monstrosity of an airplane in the sky to go a few distances, but you made this bird fly all the way from North America to South America and back.
Wait, okay, because I got you. Now, and I'm understanding what you're saying as far as like the belief that there is a higher power, higher intelligence that's responsible for the creation. I want to more or less focus on as far as like, because the argument that some people are making about as far as the money is concerned, is that when these monies are gathered at these churches, do they really go to reinvest into the community? Is the question.
Yeah, because look at the mega churches. Look how big them churches be. I ain't no way you telling me that they not using the money for that. Some of them, now don't get me wrong, the same way there are crooks in every business, like, you know what I'm saying? There are bad managers, there are good managers. There are bad politicians, there are good politicians. There are bad judges, there are good judges. You know what I'm saying? There are bad lawyers, there are good lawyers. Everything you do is going to be a bad person and a good person with it, no matter what your occupation is. So, yeah, you got preachers out there that, like, we ain't going to talk about the Catholic people.
Sure. Well, because that's a story. I'm
going to just sip my tea on that one, so we ain't going to talk about the Catholic people, y'all. I had to just sip my tea on that little tidbit. We ain't gonna talk about them.
Another story for another day, people.
Yes, another story for another day, child. But think about how big his church is. And it's Marvin Sapp, bro. Like, you know, if he's asking for the donations, that means the people of the congregation wasn't really donating. And let's be clear, church folks, because I go to church on Sundays too. I will most definitely be praising him next Sunday for my Easter service before we do my cookout. Let me be very clear. There are a lot of times I done set back, myself included. I'm not going to exclude myself. Like, I always give my tithes and offerings every Sunday that I go to church, because that's not very true. I give it sometimes, and then, you know, other times, you know, it be what it was.
Understandable.
But them collections plates be looking kind of thin for as many people that be going to the church services.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if he got to ask for it, clearly that meant it needed to be repairs. He might need to pay his salary. I don't know why people think that the preachers don't get paid, the secretary of the church don't get paid, the deacons don't get paid. That's still a business. Even though it's a church entity and it would be more of a non-profit, it's a non-profit. So the church is getting donations.
Wait, well,
that's how the hell it's staying afloat.
Well, let me ask this question. Like, what if it was a situation that with the donations, let's say a percentage was used to start maybe some type of financial institution where people could borrow money, like First Baptist Savings and Trust, where people could, you know, put their money in, take their money out, get loans, etc., at a low rate. Would that maybe incentivize people to invest more into the church?
Probably. But I think mostly people don't donate in church because in their mind be like, God's gotta wait. You know, that that's mostly what most people think.
Right.
That's how they think about it and stuff like that.
Right.
So a lot of the times, you know, we have our own reasons. Like, I'm not gonna say that having to donate every Sunday is not hard, especially in the communities that a lot of people are coming from and in the neighborhoods that a lot of people are coming from. Because you gotta think about, like, a lot of them are coming from impoverished neighborhoods. They are impoverished themselves. They might not have the financial means. They might have used their last $10 to get to the service. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta kind of look at it from all avenues and, like, both sides of the fence when it comes to something like that. You don't just necessarily rush and jump to conclusions and say that, oh yes, this person just didn't, you know, just didn't donate because they had it and they just didn't. But when you're going to a church like Marvin Sapp's or Donnie McClurkin's or Kirk Franklin's or Yolanda Adams or Tamla Mann's, these are the top cream of the churching fields. They do concerts in their own right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they go on tour in the churches. As a kid, we went to a lot of church tours. And I had more fun at some of them church tours than I did on some of the real tours and, like, concerts that I went to when I was doing it before I started working in entertainment and doing podcasts and all these different things. So, for me, I just feel like, yes, Mr. Sapp, sir, you know, I don't think you should have locked and chained the doors. I'm like, sir, I just think as a fire hazard, sir,
yes.
That's not what God wanted you to do.
Yeah, you definitely could have went back.
In the understand that he should have asked for the money. Like, they are so busy worried about him shutting the doors and closing the doors, but nobody is asking the reason as to why he closed the doors. Nobody is asking, like, why is this man asking for this money? Here is a world-renowned gospel singer, platinum Grammy time over, won plenty of gospel awards. Here comes this man, and he is literally shutting the doors on his congregation, and he's asking his congregation to give him $40,000. So,
well, hold on, let me say,
business owner, you know, and as a person that goes to church, I necessarily wouldn't take offense or even have this man in the media, like how we're discussing him on this podcast. I wouldn't have had him, like, where we are able to talk about him or nothing. But what I would have had him do is really be just, like, asking questions. Like, if I was in this church, I'd have said, well, sir, don't lock me in. No, you ain't gonna do that. I'd have told him, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, it must not be here. Too many black gangsters in the church, because, you know, one of them would have said, sir, no, you're not gonna lock us in. But, you know, I just feel like I would have asked him after I told him this, like, sir, why are you asking us for $40,000?
Right. I mean, we just want to get some.
Like, I mean, you got to get to the root of the issue. Like, I don't think they.
Well, he was in a different. What
is your take on it?
Well, he was in a different church. So let me say that first and foremost. He wasn't at his church. But as far as like my take on the whole situation, just as I said earlier, like I can understand why people would be hesitant about going to churches as far as on the donation side of things, because they may feel as though, like, I mean, yeah, I'm giving my money to the church to help the church grow and progress, and that's great. But if the only incentive I'm getting back is a feeling, I need something tangible at the end of the day. I can understand that logic. That's why I said if there is something like a First Baptist savings and loans where they can come and get low interest rate loans for homes, cars, schools, etc., I'm definitely going to come because, okay, I see my money working.
But ain't that a little bit of taboo, though? Because when you go unto God, you're supposed to not come and want anything. You're supposed to just want a relationship with God, right? So isn't that like telling the people that, like, in order to come to church, you got to get something just to go to church? Like, that would be a little taboo, and it would defeat the message of what a preacher is really trying to spread. Do you not think that?
No, because if I'm in that same scenario where I have the savings and loans First Baptist, not only am I going because of God, but I'm also being fed at the same time. Excuse me, like I can pay my bills and I can praise God at the same time. That's a win-win.
Yeah, but you don't do that without that. Like, let me tell you something. I've been to church all my life, and other than tithes and offerings or special occasions or stuff,
okay,
and I don't necessarily think that you need to go to church. I think that's another taboo subject for another day. Okay. But since we're in the topic, I'm gonna like iterate on it just briefly, because we'll go into in depth on another day, you guys. But for right now, to make my point, I think that's taboo because I've been a Christian all my life since I was probably like 7. Mm-hmm. I got up one morning on a Sunday, and we were living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the time. I don't even think my little sister Ashley was born yet. And my parents didn't give up on Sundays because they did whatever they did on Saturday nights. And so I would just be bored. And I was walking the neighborhood one day, and I heard gospel, and I followed the sound, and it led me to this church. And, you know, you go in, you ask a couple questions. I did. I asked the question. That's for another day. We'll get into that on another day. But I asked a specific question, and they gave me my answer. And I just remember thinking, like, oh, okay, well, if didn't nobody make him and he made all of us, who am I to question his design, basically?
Right.
So I didn't. Like, I'm not going to say me and God don't be having our neck dry. Like, our parents fight with the kids. And so God is no different. Like, we are supposed to take our grievances to him. Like, if you get mad at something he does or something he sends your way or something he doesn't give you, you're supposed to say all these things to him. And I have learned that when you do that, you don't necessarily need church. Like, I go to church, yes, because it's something in me that just wants to be filled for that day. And so, good preaching always helps when you get to the point where you need the outside help. But you can preach amongst yourself. I don't necessarily give my tithes to the church itself, because when I see homeless people or when I see people outside or, people in line, like, okay, case in point, 3 days ago, I seen a homeless lady. Well, let me back up, because I don't know if she was homeless. I just thought maybe she was homeless. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, we were in Walmart, and she was buying groceries, and you could tell she had a bunch of kids because they were with her. And she ran out of money, I guess, on her EBT card. And so she was putting stuff back. And, it got to be to the point where, we were in line for maybe 20 minutes. And she had put so much shit back that by the time she would have been able to pay for it, it wouldn't have been nothing in the buggy.
Oh, really?
And I was already, ready to go, and I was over it. So what I did was I just asked the man to find out how much she actually had, which was like a couple hundred, and I put all of that shit back in her buggy, and I just paid the difference, and I kept it moving.
Wow.
When I see people out of town that's got signs, I just had $1. Because in the Bible, it does say, if you see me out, would you feed me? If you see me, would you clothe me? So I just keep that mentality. It's not like you have to, go to a building to get the same feeling.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Definitely, we all can speak to God at any given time. He said, it's something about that in the Bible. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but you can come to him in any way and at any time. So you're definitely spot on with that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been a great episode. Definitely stay tuned. We're definitely going to we'll be more consistent getting this done on the weekends. We're looking at Saturdays, possibly getting some in on Sundays. But definitely stay tuned, stay tapped in. I'm the Carolina cousin, Right Way Jay. You can find me right here on Twitter /X, right WRIGHT WAYJAY1. Instagram 1 Right Way J, spelled the same way. YouTube Right Way J Music. Kola, you got anything you want to plug in? Let us know your socials.
Yes, y'all know it's your girl Kola Williams. You know my old saying, all that out there to my Kola lights. Peace, love, and hair grease. We will catch you next time. You can catch me on Insta at JAUDON85. Also at KAFARIMANAGEMENT. You can find me on Facebook at Nicole Williams. My Instagram and Twitter is also Kola Williams. Let's get it. We out.
Yes. Stay tuned. We'll tap in with y'all next time. Y'all take it easy now.